Hi, I'm Beni Keown. I'm 18 years old. I go to Northwestern and I graduated last year from ETHS.
How did you get into trivia?
I have always kind of been interested in just learning things. I think the earliest memory that either I or my parents have of it is when I was 4 or 5. I memorized all of the presidents in order. I don't have that information anymore in my brain, but that's what I enjoyed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of evolved from there, just to, I'm interested in what's happening in the world.
Can you talk a little bit about your history? Like, you're in Scholastic Bowl, right? I know you do some stuff with Northwestern.
Scholastic Bowl was my first exposure to any organized trivia, so I did that starting my junior year of high school, and I loved that. And then Quiz Bowl, which is the equivalent of Scholastic Bowl at Northwestern, and I've been doing that, but it's been fun. And then I've also started going to local restaurants to do pub trivia.
So for anyone that doesn't know, can you kind of explain what like Scholastic Bowl or Quiz Bowl is?
At its surface level, it's Jeopardy on teams, so you're on a team of 4 or 5, and you get read academic trivia question, and you aim to be the first one to answer the question correctly.
Can you like explain how you actually got to be on the show?
Sure, so it's a multiple-step process. The first, I think it started in maybe September or October. You take an online quiz. It's 50 questions. Anybody can take it. And I did well enough on the quiz that they said, hey, come to St. Louis. We'd like to do an in-person thing with you. So I drove out there for a day. They're screening you for TV, basically, so whether you can talk about yourself confidently, whether you're loud and composed when you're answering questions. And then I guess I impressed them enough that they invited me out to tape in February.
So is there any way to like prepare for like going on the show, or no?
So I've talked to the other contestants about this, and we all prepared in different ways, but generally people tried to brush up on areas that they were weak on. It's hard to prepare because there's such a broad range of things that Jeopardy can ask you.
So what was it like to like represent Northwestern and like Evanston on national TV?
Now that things are airing, to see the interest, and people are letting me know that they watched it and they're supporting, and that's been fun.
But what has it been like to like get that feedback on social media?
The response, at least in the first game, was mainly to my hair, not to me necessarily. And I've kind of had jokes made about my hair for the past few years, ever since it's been like this. And so it was pretty funny to see all of Twitter's take on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some pretty funny ones. I laughed a lot. I think I got pretty positive reception compared to a lot of the contestants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one girl had a letter sent to her house.
Really?
Yeah. I got a lot of joking things, or there were some people that were angry at my attitude, but that was really the worst it got, and I can handle that. So
yeah, I was gonna ask, does it like bother you, or?
No, it was interesting to see. I think the biggest complaint about me was that I seemed like irreverent or arrogant, mm-hmm. or just not, I don't know, full of myself. Mm-hmm. I think that was just a byproduct of me being very comfortable on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I was very relaxed. I didn't really feel nervous at any point when playing. That was just kind of me. And I was talking to my friends, and they seemed to have a different take, because they know how I am mm-hmm. outside of Jeopardy, so they had a different take on my appearance. But no, it was fine. We were paying attention to Twitter very, very closely.
What was it like to be on like the set of like a really famous show?
It was a little overwhelming at times, but pretty cool. There's a lot that goes into that production mm-hmm. that you don't see on TV. There's the makeup ladies. Kind of every time I was standing still, there was somebody dabbing my face with powder. The camera people who are telling you where to look. Then there's a whole crew of 4 or 5 people just for like managing the contestants and explaining everything to us if we need explanations. And then they obviously have a live studio audience, so there are people keeping everybody quiet and making sure nobody's on their phones. Mm-hmm. It's a whole operation. On TV, it looks very simple. It's just Alex, the players, and the board. But there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes mm-hmm. that was cool to see, but at times was a lot.
But was there anything else that just like was like minor but just like surprised you about it?
I was expecting to like meet 14 other people that had their heads down and didn't really want to talk, only cared about the money. But we were definitely all a little bit nervous, especially waiting for our matches. But we all were looking to get to know everybody. This is a really good group, and so I was surprised at how personable and kind and fun all of the other contestants were.
So how does that work, like money-wise?
So it's slightly different in the college tournament because it is a tournament, so the money that we win is based on how far we move on. Mm-hmm. One of the nice things was that I never really had to think about money, because even if I had gone in and gotten every question wrong, I would have walked out with $5,000, which is really more money than I know what to do with. Mm-hmm. So it goes up from 5 to 10 if you make the semifinals, and then 25 to 100,000 for the finalists.
So did you like tell people you were going on the show?
Oh yeah. I didn't publicize it too widely until like Jeopardy actually publicized it. Mm-hmm. But I told friends, and my family told their friends, and word gets around. I wasn't trying to keep it a secret from anybody. Mm-hmm. I think the hardest thing after it aired was I had a couple months of not being able to tell anybody how I did. I managed to not tell anyone.
So timeline-wise, what did it look like?
So I got the call that I was going to be on the show in mid-January. Mm-hmm. We taped in very early February. I think the show's taped on the 3rd and the 4th. Mm-hmm. And then obviously my episode aired April 9th, my quarterfinals episode, so it was a little bit more than 2 months in between. One of the things that was the hardest about the experience was having to go in the middle of a school week. They flew us out on a Friday, and I got back on a Wednesday afternoon. It was basically right back into school from this trip. Jeopardy is an exhausting experience. Mm. You know, there's a lot that you have to do. The days were fairly long, probably like 10-hour days each day. So yeah, that's another thing that you don't really see, is how much time you spend on set every day, because the episodes tape fairly quickly, and it's pretty much real time what you see on TV versus what's going on in the studio. But like, especially on the first day, we had an hour or two of just briefing how the day was going to work. And then we had another probably hour of doing promotional material, taking pictures, shooting videos. And then I had to wait until 2 or 3 for my match. So that's 3 or 4 hours of just sitting in the green room doing nothing. And then we had to shoot more promotional material after all the games had finished. Mm. So there's a lot besides the 1 30-minute match that you have to do.
Well, you told me you weren't nervous. But what kind of emotions are you feeling, like, being there and, like, when you're actually starting to, like, play, like, in the rounds?
Excitement, honestly. This is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy trivia. I enjoy competing. So I just tried to enjoy my time out there.
What was it kind of like? Was it a lot of pressure, like, nearing the end of the second round because you really wanted to go on, or did you feel confident?
It was a little bit of both. I was confident in that I thought I was playing well. Mm-hmm. I think I ended up seeing my statistics, and I got the most correct answers in both games. Mm-hmm. So I was doing well, but also it's a lot different in the semifinals, because in the quarterfinals, I thought, okay, I'm losing, but that doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to move on anyways. In the semifinals, I thought, holy crap, I'm winning. I just need to get this correct, and I'm playing for $100,000. Mm-hmm. I'd say I wasn't nervous. I think the only time that I was nervous was right before the last final Jeopardy clue appeared, because you have time to stop and think and realize the situation you're in. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot.
I didn't realize that the whole game could be turned by like one question, because you were like in the lead by far, right?
I wasn't in the lead by a ton, but I was pretty comfortably in the lead. You know, it's I guess I can take solace in the fact that, like, I played well both games, and the only thing that ended up taking me down was a stupid brain fart. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a very expensive brain fart, but like I played well, and I'm happy that I played well.
What did you get out of your experience going on Jeopardy?
I gained an experience that I'll never forget. I gained a pretty good group of friends. It was more than just going and competing. I enjoyed every second of it, basically.